Why, yes, I am covering up bad eyeliner with gemstones in my inner corners. Thank you for asking. Okay, but in all seriousness, I know I normally start off my videos with like a little rant or something funny, a story, whatever. I genuinely just wanted to get on camera and thank you guys because I just hit 10,000 subscribers. And that's not something that I ever thought was going to happen for me. Like, realistically, when I first started my channel, almost 2 years ago at this point, it's been about a year and 8 months, I was shocked if anyone watched my videos. I was like, when I hit 100 subscribers, I was like, holy shit. So 10,000 subscribers, I can't even like, if 10,000 people were standing in this room right now, I can't fathom that. And you guys are so sweet to me, and you just talk to me every day, and I consider you guys my friends. I know that's very, like, cheesy to say that as a YouTuber, but, like, I really feel like I have a good, tight community on top of the other creators that I've made friends with and stuff, and just, like, I'm so appreciative, and I just hope I keep doing this. I hope that I get to keep doing this and that it keeps growing, and I love you guys. Thank you so much. I didn't think it was going to happen for me. Thank you. Hi guys, my name is Lacey of Spookless and Fat Hips, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Side note, I know that my light might keep fluctuating in all of my videos. It's because I'm trying to rely on natural lighting because I think it looks best on camera. But, like, the sun keeps setting earlier and earlier, and I'm at a race against time right now, so bear with me. Today, I thought, because I did just hit 10,000 subscribers, thank you guys again so much for that. Also, thank you to Jen Loves Reviews, because she shouted me out on her Sunday live stream, and I watch that live stream every Sunday, normally after it's live. So I was, like, in the shower listening to the catching up on the stream, and I heard my name, and I, like, you know, like, got out, and I was like, what? So I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much, Jen, and if you've come from Jen's stream, thank you for hanging out with me. I wanted to do an assumptions video because it's been making the rounds on YouTube. I keep seeing my friends do assumption videos. I had wanted to do this, like, before I moved, but I've just been really unreliable and I never got a chance to do it. But now we're here and I got some good ones. I'm actually glad I waited because this round, you guys have much juicier assumptions that I think make this a little bit more interesting. So if you're new or you've been with me for a while, this might be a fun way to get to know me better. Also, if you want me just to do like a traditional Q&A, let me know because I'm open to that. And also, like, I've thought about doing a Q&A with Matt because, like, Matt's made, like, cameos on my channel, but he's never been in an official video. So specifically, if you want a Q&A and you want me to include Matt in that Q&A, please let me know. I asked you guys on both Twitter and Instagram for assumptions. I didn't get that many on Twitter, so I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to go to Instagram. I'm not going to say anybody's names when I read the assumption, just because, like, I didn't ask if it was okay before, so, like, I don't want to assume it's okay to shout out people's usernames if they don't want me to. Okay, so right off the bat on Twitter, I assume you've got a really rad, weird, hidden talent. So there's things that I'm open about, like I read tarot cards and things like that, if you consider that a hidden talent. Things that I never talk about on this channel, I am really good at improv comedy. I did that for about 6 years throughout high school and early college, and it's something that I like wish I was still doing right now, so there's that. Also, I'm a drummer. I've been playing the drums since I was like 12 or 13 in like band class as well as like, you know, real music, punk and metal music, things like that. I don't have a drum set here in my apartment. I left my drum set at home at my parents' house, but my dream is to have an electric drum set. That's something that I've wanted for a very long time. So, fun fact about me, I play the drums. I assume even when you're 80, you'll be rocking the wild makeup looks and looking great. Me too, by the way. I feel like I just get better with age, and I just get more like me as I age, so I imagine by the time I'm 80, I'm going to be the most ridiculous cartoon character. It's not even funny. I assume at one point you wanted to go into archaeology. This isn't true, actually. So, for anyone who's new and doesn't know, I have a really ridiculous educational background because I just at one point was like a professional student, basically. And I have my first degree is in criminal justice, and by the time I graduated with that degree, I didn't want to do anything in the criminal justice field anymore. So I went back to school for geology, thinking that I was going to become a paleontologist. This is all true. And then through taking geology and paleontology classes, I actually discovered my love of physical anthropology, which is what I ended up majoring in, and I just kept the minor in geology. So realistically, I could probably work in the archaeology field if I went back and got my master's in it and like my PhD eventually, but it was never an active thought, and now knowing the basics of archaeology, it's not personally for me. I like the bones. That's where my love is. You guys were a little raunchy this round of assumptions. I'm just gonna say that. It's hard to make assumptions about you because you seem pretty straightforward, which is true. I'm very much what you see is what you get with me. But I do assume that you and your boyfriend, I hope to God my family doesn't secretly watch my videos, and if you do for some reason, family, please click away. I assume that you and your boyfriend have a pretty wild sex life though. I'm just going to say that I feel like a goddess every day of my life, and that the both of us are very satisfied. Wink. I'm just gonna leave it there. Or actually, truthfully, there's episodes of the Half Cousins podcast where we get into detail about like sex and our sex lives and stuff. So if like you really want to know, that information is sadly out there in the world now and I can't take it back. That was all that existed for Twitter because I think people felt more comfortable with the anonymity of Instagram messages, so we'll go into Instagram. I had to take photos of everything because Instagram stories disappear. You know the drill. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start from the top and go down. A couple people actually assume this, that you don't like dogs, or people that I assume that I was a cat person over a dog person. That is not true. I love dogs. Matt especially loves dogs, and we both wish so badly that we had a dog right now. And we could, like, it's in our lease that if we have a pet that we just have to discuss with our landlady. But the problem is we don't think we have the time or the money right now to devote to a pet, and we just think that would be selfish. We're both actually allergic to cats. I would be open to getting a cat, but we're definitely more dog people. I miss having a dog every day. When you get into something, you get really into it. Also, you probably play D&D. That is also something very true about me. I always say, like, people always say they're 0 to 100. I am 0 or 100. I either care not at all, or if I like something, I'm 1000% into it. Like, all or nothing, obsessive. That's why I have multiple degrees, like crazy kind of person. I go hard for the things that I love. D&D, I've only ever played a couple times. Matt all the time though says that he wishes that we had a campaign in Albany. So if anyone knows of a D&D campaign that's looking for new people in Albany, let me know. But yeah, we do play D&D a little bit. I actually am more a Magic the Gathering person, if I could be honest. I go very hard for Magic the Gathering. I love especially making different kinds of decks and like the strategy behind it. Like that was always my favorite. I would make decks for everybody in my life because I just love that part of it so much, more so than playing, but I do love playing. So that's where my nerdiness is. That you're adorable. Thank you. You're not religious. I got a couple religious assumptions too. I am not religious. I wasn't even really raised religious, which I'll get into in a second. I consider myself more spiritual, which I realize is like a cop-out and everybody says that, but it's the truth. I believe in some like unexplainable things and like powers of the universe and blah blah blah, but it's all kind of like pieces of other religions that have worked for me throughout the years, and kind of just like, I don't know, it works for me. I consider myself a spiritual person but not like a religious person following something to, you know, the letter. That I'm annoyed easily but it doesn't last long. Oh yeah, my constant state is anxious, but right after anxious it's annoyed, believe me. You're super tall, like 5'9". I am 5'3". In fact, I recently went to Boston to hang out with one of my YouTube besties, Nisi Pizza, and Nisa is like very tall, and she was wearing heels, and I felt like this big compared to Nisa the entire time. She towered over me. I'm so short. I'm 5'3". I actually feel like I give off short girl energy though, so I'm actually surprised someone would assume that I'm tall. I'm very short and I'm very round. I'm like an egg with legs. You've had coworkers comment on your makeup. Not really. But my last job, I got a lot of compliments on my makeup from both coworkers and clients, but never really like backhanded compliments or like mean ones or anything like that. Also, with the naughty assumptions, you've never done. I might cut this out of the video. I'm not even refer to my earlier question. You were not allowed to wear makeup when you were younger. That is not true. I was allowed to wear makeup and I wore like raccoon eyes. I was very much a child of the millennia. I was very much in that kind of scene kid life. There was never a conversation with my parents of like, you're wearing too much makeup. I don't think they cared. What my parents specifically cared about was piercings, tattoos, and hair color. I was not allowed to dye my hair growing up, and I had to fight to get my nose pierced when I was 16. And any other piercings after that, I had to be 18 and like sneak, basically. So that was really the stickler. You like spiders and other insects. I actually really do love spiders. I don't like insects that have the ability to jump onto you, and I feel like that's very human. Like, I like to admire bugs from afar. Moths are cool, butterflies are cool, like, I have a really cool picture on my phone when I was working at the state park, and there was just like giant, huge spiders with beautiful webs and like praying mantises. I love bugs in theory, less in practice. And spiders I love. I wear a spider nose ring. I'm so into spiders. Whenever I see a spider in my house, I'm like, you can hang. Your favorite emoji is the little ghost emoji. Actually, I like the black heart emoji. That's why it's like everywhere on my social media. You believe in astrology? I 1000% believe in astrology. I am such a Pisces, it's not even funny. And I just got into the whole birth chart thing, and mine was like so accurate, it was sick. I don't know. And also, so like I have like a sciencey background. My sister has a master's in chemistry, also a super smart, sciencey, logical person. She believes in astrology, and she was telling me that there's like some scientists are believing that there's an ounce of truth to astrology, because why wouldn't the conditions of when you were conceived affect your birth? So I don't know. I really am into astrology. Not to the extent of being like, sorry I hit you with my car, I'm a Pisces, you know what I mean? Like, not so much that, but I do think there's gotta be something to it, because it's too weird. And Matt's a Leo, and everything I ever read about Leos is like, oh my god, that's Matt. You don't handle criticism well. No, because I've been very open about this, I was bullied for so long that I kind of am just at a point where I want to live my life and I want everyone to shut the fuck up and leave me alone about it. Like, true tea, that's really what it is. Also, I think there's a difference, and on the internet, people don't seem to get this. There's a difference between general, like, constructive criticism and just like being nasty but calling it constructive criticism as like a get out of jail free card. Like, there's a big difference between someone saying, hey Lacey, I know you're trying to work with natural light right now, but it keeps fluctuating and blah blah blah, maybe you should try this, versus your lighting fucking sucks, you should get off YouTube if you're not going to be professional. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that, those aren't comments that I've gotten, but that's an example. Like, I think there's a difference, but that's just me. I assume you've always been spooky. PS, love your channel. I really, like, as far as I can remember, I have. I've always kind of been into darker stuff. I've always kind of been into like the whole gothy aesthetic. Yeah, for like as long as I can remember, for sure. At least throughout middle school and high school. Middle school, I'm like foggy on the details because I have a terrible memory, but as far as I can honestly remember, yes. Again, with the, what is it about me that is bringing on these assumptions right now? Because the assumption is, you freaky, with a tongue emoji, the looking eye emoji, a water droplet, and a fire emoji. I mean, like, you're right, but what is it about me, the like alternative fat girl aesthetic? God, don't stereotype me. You're the mom of your friend group in a good way. Friends leave feeling better about their life. I definitely think I'm the mom, and that I'm always like the shoulder to cry on. I'm always trying to give advice. I'm always trying to steer people in the right direction. I'm always trying to, like, for instance, like, I'm always trying to make sure like my friends are like okay in school and like getting, you know, emotional help when they need it, and that they're doing things positive for themselves. I'm also very much someone who is like in the darkest pits of emotional hell and then rose above it. So I'm always trying to like preach that to everybody else in my life, because I know that everybody else can get there too. So yeah, I'm definitely the mom friend. I assume that you're sarcastic as fuck in real life. It's the New Jersey way. Oh my god, sarcasm is like a second language, believe me. You get some backlash for sharing your thoughts about hate comments. Since we're gonna bring it up, allow me to get on my soapbox for a second. Mostly, honestly, no. I think, because first of all, so I've kind of taken a page out of Teresa's Dead's book, and like I will post the most ridiculous hate comments I get on social media, because if you're going to post a public comment, it's fair game for me to publicly respond back to it, just saying. But most of the time, like for every time I do that, there's like 100 other comments that I just deleted and blocked the person for, because you have to have thick skin to do this. But every once in a while, you crack. And I think most people are empathetic to that, because most people, I think, would do the same thing. And anyone who is saying, like, oh, you just gotta rise above it, you just gotta be stronger, why would you put yourself on the internet if, like, this is a part of it, blah, blah, blah. I get that. I was very much one of those people at one point, like, especially, like, so I'm so microscopic, right, when it comes to, like, fame and the internet and popularity, whatever. I was very much somebody who, like, celebrities, for instance, when they would complain about the paparazzi, I would be like, well, why are they complaining? This is what they signed up for. Having indulged in, like, a speck of that, and having, like, being made hyper aware that everybody is constantly watching every move I make, I don't think that that's okay. I don't, cause like, if someone were to walk up to me and be like, your outfit's stupid and you look stupid, I'd punch them in the face, right? Like, but the internet, you don't have that repercussion. And now add that extra layer of, like, do you like me but don't like what the fuck is going on top of that. So let's say I'm living my best life, I'm walking around and someone comes up to me and they go, oh my gosh, I love your outfit, you look so beautiful, but your hat is stupid, you should take it off right now. Like, so, like, this is neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say is, like, I think most people get that because most people will react the same way, and most people do this and that. The 1 or 2 times where people have been like, maybe you shouldn't have reacted like that, blah, blah, blah. I would just say I can guarantee if you were in my position, you would be doing the same thing. Because as you walk through life, as you go about your business, you don't hear every single person around you's constant thought about you. On the internet, you do, whether it's good or bad, and the good can be overwhelming as well. Really, people who are like, well, this is what you signed up for, blah, 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 I would argue, no, I signed up to have a community and to talk about products and to talk about, you know, things that are happening on YouTube and hear you guys' feedback, you know, back and say if I don't like a product, I want to hear if you did and why, or if I feel a certain way about a release, maybe you don't agree, and like discussions and that kind of thing. I didn't sign up for everyone to feel like they have a right to say whatever the fuck they want with no repercussions. Sorry. So, like I said though, most people are cool with it. Most people, like, get that you have to. Also, this is such a tangent, I'm sorry. But also in those situations where I'm commenting back to stupid comments, it helps me feel like I'm taking the power back in that situation, and that no, people can't just say whatever they want to me because I'm someone on the internet. Like, it makes me kind of regain control back in that situation. But I digress. My whole point is, most people seem to understand. I think most people would react in the same way, because for as thick as my skin is, I'm just a person. I have a breaking point at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Going back to assumptions. Not sure if it's an assumption or a vibe, but I think you're a very warm and accepting person. I literally am the most accepting person on this planet. I don't care what anyone around me does or likes or is into or wants to do with their bodies or their whatever. As long as they're not hurting themselves or other people, I do not give a shit. I'm like the least judgmental person on this planet. I'm very much like, we're all just trying to, like, live our lives and, like, trying to figure out the human existence. What other people doesn't bother me kind of thing. I literally accept everybody, like, without question. You are fascinated by mummies. I'm obsessed with Egyptology, that person says in parentheses. I do love mummies. I got a degree in physical anthropology, which is the study of, like, you know, humans and primates and specifically their biology and evolution. And what I did was bones primarily. Like, if you've seen the show Bones, I love a good mummy. Like, sign me up, because it's like a perfect preservation of ancient human life. Like, how cool is that? And what you have to go through to successfully be mummified, love it. Love everything about it. And not even just Egypt mummies either, like all kinds of mummies. Bog bodies, oh man. Don't even get me started. So this is my friend who said this, that she assumes that I'm a secret sloot, which is S-L-O-O-T. I had to Google this because I didn't know what that meant. It's apparently a slut, and the amount of O's you put in the word depicts how slutty this person is. I really want to know what it is about me that you all just, I mean, what is it? I assume you're independent and don't rely on family too often, and that you're a badass. I would say I'm independent, especially for my family, just because I never wanted to be a strain on my family. And that's like some personal kind of financial crap that's I don't think is right for me to talk about. But like, I've always tried to ask my parents, especially for as little as humanly possible. You prefer coup and or party board games because you don't like making moves against people. I like both. I'm very much a board game person. Like, I fucking Betrayal at House on the Hill, masterpiece. I love all kinds of we collect board games. In fact, when our closet exploded a couple, like last week, I was gonna say a couple days ago, I think it was like 2 weeks at this point, the shelf broke down in the middle of the night and scared the crap out of us. It was like all board games on that shelf. You have an amazingly good heart. I like to think that I do. I'm like a very empathetic person. I'm very much the kind of person that cries when other people cry, probably to a fault. I'm too empathetic, to be honest. I would like to say I have a good heart. I really do genuinely care about like everybody. You are equal parts fascinated and freaked out by witchcraft. False. I've been practicing loosely on and off since I was like 12 or 13, around the same time as I picked up the drums. And I just love it. I love everything about it. I'm not kind of here for some of the constraints or some of the misogyny that exists in certain witchcraft-based religions. I will just say that. But I'm so here for it. I love everything about it so much. Goth chick to the max. I don't really think so, honestly. I'm sure I really don't have that many goth points because I don't like truly have the aesthetic. I just have like elements of the aesthetic. Assume that I am a neat freak. Oh my god, am I a neat freak. I'm very much the kind of person where like dishes have to be washed right away. Everything has to be in its place before we go to bed. Cabinets need to be closed immediately. Why is this door open? Blah, blah, blah. My only because if I'm not like that, I get anxious. My only problem is if there's like a point of no return where like things are so cluttered that then I just give up and I just contribute to the clutter, and that's normally like when my anxiety is really bad, let's say. But like it's been rough because Matt is like a feisty Leo and just would leave things everywhere and not care, but I'm very much the person that's like, put it back, make the bed, like everything needs to be good. You're very picky with friendships. I would say yes and no. I am open to being friends with everybody, but it's very like I keep my close friends very close because I feel like I'm a very emotionally damaged person and I need people who can vibe with that. So I feel like I'm only picky about like close friends. You grow up in a religious family and moving away let you be free to be witchy and weird. No, actually, my parents did something really fucking cool in that they never pushed religion on me or my siblings. And like, so for instance, I did grow up Presbyterian. Technically, I went to a Presbyterian church growing up, but I went with my grandparents and it was very much like less of a religious thing and more like me getting dressed up and hanging out with my grandparents and going out to eat with them afterwards and being able to like sing in the choir and be in Christmas plays. Like I have no memory of it ever being a religious thing. Like I know it obviously was, but to me it was just like a family bonding thing. And my parents very distinctively were like, you guys will figure out your own religions. That's not for us to decide. Which I think is very cool. And like I said, I was like a little teeny bopper when I first discovered like Wicca and witchcraft and crap like that. And my mom especially was always cool with it and like never was like, keep that shit locked down. So I've always actually really appreciated that about my parents. I used to wear a pentagram like every day to school. So, and like, no one ever said anything to me about it. I can't get to everyone's assumptions, obviously, but I'm going to try to do a lot of them, or most of them. You assume that I don't like spicy food. That is incredibly not true. I love spicy food. I think most things I cook in this world have some kind of a kick to it, because that's how my dad always cooked. I'm half Italian. I very much grew up in a very, like, Italian-esque lifestyle with, like, a very food-centric kind of family, and my dad especially always cooked things with flavor, which meant that he was always cooking things with spice, and like red pepper flakes were in everything growing up, and I definitely hold elements of that in my own cooking to this day. Life's too short to eat boring food. I assume that you are passionate about things you love but have anxiety over starting new things, even if those things could bring you joy. This is very like, this is like a deeper one. This is kind of making me a bit introspective. I think that's probably true. I'm very much someone who gets caught up in routines and is happy in routines, and it scares me to start new routines. And I have my biggest thing with anxiety is I never want to feel trapped, and I'm always terrified to get myself into situations where I'm trapped. So like job-wise, I like jobs that are project-oriented, so things come to an end. School, like the semester always came to an end, like things like that. I like knowing I have a way out. I don't know what that is about me. So I think it's more or less like fear of the thing versus fear of getting stuck in the thing. You have really cute and happy feet and go barefoot as often as you can. This is actually like spot on. Like, don't damn me about feet pics, anyone, but I do think I have cute feet as far as feet go, and I hate wearing shoes. I'm barefoot all the time. In fact, growing up, my parents always yelled at me that I was barefoot because they were constantly like, put shoes on, and I'm like, hell no, I love being barefoot. Shoes suck. You think Bauhaus is the best band? Not necessarily. Like, I think they're good, but they're not like my favorite band. That's like such a goth stereotype. I don't have a favorite band. Is that weird to me? I've never had a favorite band or a favorite song because I go through cycles. Like, I'll be in a pop punk mood, or I'll be in like a death metal mood, or lately I've been in like a Typo Negative, dark industrial kind of gothy mood. I don't know, I just go through cycles. Like a couple weeks ago, I was just listening to Lizzo every day. It depends on my mood. You assume that I kind of regret my degrees. I would say no. I regret spending as much money as I did going to school, but I don't regret anything about my education. I don't regret the experience going to college. I really had some amazing opportunities and met some amazing people, and it gave me a lot of perspective about the world, and as cheesy as it is, I don't think I'd be the person I am today without my degrees. And there is a part of me that does think it's a little bit of a bragging right to say that I have like multiple undergrad degrees, and that's also been a huge factor of me wanting to get a PhD, because I feel like that's the ultimate, you know, flex. But I'm also a nerd. So you have a little doubt in the back of your mind about witchcraft. Oh yeah, like for as much as I'm into it, that's just me as a person, because I do have that logical kind of sciencey side to me. I doubt everything all the time, always. Always. It's just I'm constantly convincing myself I'm crazy. That is a whole other thing. Your favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles. My favorite cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You hate the color pink. This makes me laugh so hard, because wouldn't you know that pink is my favorite color? I have a little bit of pink back here. Pink is my absolute favorite color. I don't wear a lot of pink. There's nothing aesthetically pink about me, but pink is my favorite color. Whenever I have the option, I'm looking around, I have so much pink stuff right here. Whenever I have the option to pick a pink thing, like for instance, I needed a new wire for my microphone, for my camera, I grabbed the pink one. Like my lamp is pink, I have little pink baskets for my makeup. Like my phone, the phone itself is pink. Like my bedroom at my parents' house, everything was pink. I'm obsessed with color pink. It's my favorite color. Like the hottest pink possible is my favorite. You definitely aren't a fan of musicals and played an instrument during elementary school. I love musicals. I do have a theater background, so I love musicals. And like I said, I played the drums since like the first year in elementary school. So maybe even before I was 12. I think I've been playing drums like, because when do you start playing an instrument? Like the 4th grade? Maybe like since I was like 10 or 9 even. The second band class was available, I remember clearly that moment of going in and you got to try all the instruments, and my music teacher said, which one of these are you interested in? And I said, actually, I want to play the drums. And she was like, done. Like, hell yeah, Miss T, if you're watching, because I fell in love with it. I love the drums. I miss playing them every day. I really do. The modern witch, or specifically the hashtag modern witch bandwagon, makes you hesitant to create more about tarot/spirituality content. Not really. I think really what holds me back is like not wanting to debate with people in the comments, because I get anxiety as it is looking at my comments. I don't really care about the whole modern witch thing. Like, it's just, to me, I get it because the aesthetics are cool. Like, to me, to be upset about it, or to be like, fake witches, fake posers, blah, 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 it's very, like, elementary school to me. It's very much like when someone wore a band shirt and you had to prove that you liked that band by naming every song. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you're a fan of this band? Who did the drummer take to his prom in middle school? Like, that kind of crap. I'm not about, like, making people prove how witchy they are, but I understand. I have heard from peers that what upsets them is like the girls that made fun of them in high school for being into that stuff are now suddenly like posting on their Instagram that they have witch vibes and blah blah blah. whatever, dude. Whatever makes you happy. I'm confident enough in myself that I don't give a shit, to be perfectly honest. Skipping around because I forgot some. You really want to get into meditation, but every time you try, you just scream. I love meditation. I was very anti-meditation for many years because before I got diagnosed my panic disorder and went through like the steps of like getting medical attention for it, everybody in my life was like, have you just tried meditation? To the point where the next person who said I was going to punch in the face. Like, it was I hated being told that because I was suffering with something that needed to be treated medically. But now that is years past and I've learned to control my symptoms and things like that, meditation actually does really help me on a mild, like, so small scale. I am really into mindful meditation specifically. Some days you get so overwhelmed by the state of the world that you just cry for hours. I can't let myself think about it or I will cry for hours. You listen to college lectures for fun. Not so much now that I'm not in college, but very much so when I was in college. Like, anytime a guest speaker came or there was an opportunity to sit on like a class or anything like that, I was so here for. I loved doing that so much. Like, I remember one of my favorite college memories is like I was working on a geology lab of like, you're given like 20 different kinds of fucking rocks and you have to figure out the chemical composition of all of them so you can tell which one, like, don't even get me started. And I remember a friend of mine busting into the lab room because we were allowed to hang out in the lab until the building closed, basically, and being like, Lacey, do you want to go sit in on a lecture about big cats? And I was like, fuck yeah, and like left all of my shit in lab to go sit through a talk about being able to mathematically calculate jaw dimensions in prehistoric big cat. Like, I remember, like, that to me was one of my favorite college memories of like going to spontaneously sit on that lecture. I'm such a dork. Nowadays though, I listen to a lot of TED Talks. Like, that's where it comes from now. And then the last assumption is a heavy one. You have a dark past. I will say, I'm saying yes, not in the dark sense of like I'm secretly on the run or like anything, or like I have a criminal past or anything like that. I have a dark past in that a lot of really unfortunate, messed up things have happened to me throughout my life, and specifically as a teenager, that, as cheesy as it is, has made me the person that I am, both good and bad. So I definitely think the things I've gone through have contributed to me being a more empathetic person and have contributed to like certain careers that I've wanted to pursue at one point, and like definitely helped me be a little bit more of like a social justice-y kind of person. But it still sucks, and I'm dealing with the emotional repercussions of that as well, and a lot of my anxiety and my depression and my PTSD and things like that stem from these really shitty, dark things that have happened to me. And I don't like talking about it very much. I don't know, like my childhood on paper was fine, like my family was great, everything about that was cool, but really like some of the emotional things I went through with my peers was like not okay, and I kind of have to deal with that and suffer with that a little bit still to this day. So to end on like a dark note, maybe I don't want to end there. Let's find one more funny one and then we'll end on a funny one. But you know, I would say honestly, yeah, a little bit. There's a little bit of truth to that. Okay, we'll end on a fun one. You like the Muppets? I love anything Jim Henson. I really do. Animal is my favorite Muppet, obviously. He's a drummer. But like anything Jim Henson, love so fucking much. But other than that, let me put my phone somewhere. Those were all of your assumptions about me this round. I could do this again. It's probably fun to keep doing this every once in a while. Thank you to everyone who sent an assumption to me, whether it was true or not. This was still fun. It's actually really, really funny to think about like what kinds of vibes I put out and like what people, because a lot of this was harmless, but some of it I'm like, what is it about me that you assume that? Like, please let me know. If you want the Q&A, like I mentioned earlier, definitely let me know. I'm also, like I mentioned, bringing Matt on for a Q&A because Tati's husband did a man favorites. I want Matt to do a man's favorites so badly. I don't know. Or maybe just like a meet my boyfriend kind of video. Let me know what you think. If you have any further things you'd like to discuss about the assumptions given to me, obviously chat with me down below. If you like this videos, if you like get to know me types of videos, and if you like me, please hit like and subscribe. You can also follow me on my Instagram, which is also Spookless and Fat Hips, to see what I'm up to when I'm not on YouTube, as well as my Twitter at SpookyLacey. Both will be linked down below with any makeup on my face, any pertinent information, etc. Other than that though, that is all I have to say. I have had a phantom hair on my nose this entire video and it's driving me crazy, so I'm gonna go deal with that. But other than that, that's all I gotta say, and I'm gonna get off camera. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys!